on the CW55 News at 9.
The Defense Secretary visits Hurlburt Field in Eglin today. What he had to say about the operations here and what he did not say about his future. The governor takes some selfies with the president-elect. What did they discuss? Some big changes could be on the way concerning your paycheck and how not to fry your Thanksgiving turkey.
This is the CW55 News at 9, powered by the News 5 Network.
Hi everyone, I'm Peter Albrecht. Thanks for joining us tonight on the CW55. Here are your top 9 stories at 9 o'clock. This just in, a reversal on a major decision on the Bob Sikes Bridge. The Escambia County Commission voted tonight 5-0 to reverse the decision to go to Sun Pass only on the bridge. For now, everything will stay as it is with the 1 all Sun Pass lane and the 3 cash option lanes. There will be some more town hall meetings to get more opinions from the public on this policy. The Secretary of the Defense was on the Gulf Coast today. Ash Carter saw several demonstrations today at Eglin Air Force Base in Hurlburt Field as the election of Donald Trump put his future as head of the military in doubt. As Defense Secretary Ash Carter toured Eglin Air Force Base and Hurlburt Field today in New York, President-elect Donald Trump continued the process of putting together his cabinet that very well could include a new defense secretary.
If you could give one recommendation to President-elect Trump into your successor.
I'm not going to do for the reason I just said. I'm not going to do that.
Carter waved off questions about Trump and his own future, saying America's military has always operated outside the political realm and must continue to do so.
It has been extremely important to me that not only I, but all the members of the Department of Defense have stood apart from politics during this long campaign season, and that's what our institution stands for.
Carter could remain as defense secretary. President Obama, for example, kept Republican Robert Gates in the job for the first 2.5 years of his presidency. Regardless of who might be defense secretary, Carter says the work being done in special ops at Hurlburt Field remains essential.
This is a kind of capability that we use nearly every day somewhere in the world.
And Carter said much the same for the technology advances being implemented at Eglin.
And we make sure that we are one step in technology ahead of all opponents. And that's important not only in the platforms that you see here, like the new F-35, but very importantly here at Eglin in munitions. And that is what the specialty of this installation is.
Carter says he's upset with the news today that congressional leaders have delayed resolution on the defense budget for at least until April of next year, saying that's inefficient and it's unfair to those in uniform. We'll have more on the Secretary's visit and what he saw demonstrated at Eglin a little bit later in the show. In Florida politics today, Governor Rick Scott among the many meeting with the president-elect as Donald Trump continues to vet potential cabinet appointees. Scott tweeted a selfie from Trump Tower today saying, quote, "Great seeing my friend Donald Trump." It's been rumored that Scott, who helped raise more than $20 million for the Trump campaign, would be appointed to Trump's cabinet. But Scott took to CNN earlier today to clear the air on that.
Is that even on the table for you, or are you now getting ready to go for the Senate?
So I've been clear. I've got 781 days to go in this job as governor. I want to finish my job as governor. That's what I ran on. I've got a lot of opportunities, I think, to continue to improve the state. We've added 1,222,000 jobs. We're beating my good friend Rick Perry in Texas now in jobs. I want to keep this going. I want to improve education. I want to keep people safe. I want to finish this job.
All right.
I want to help him. I'll do anything I can to help him, but I want to finish this job.
Scott says he is looking forward to working with Trump on repealing Obamacare and reinventing the federal government. If you make less than $47,500 per year, you may be one of the more than 4 million American workers who will start receiving overtime next month. A new law set to begin December 1st nationwide mandates that salaried employees making under $47,500 get overtime pay. Otherwise, employers will have to bump up salaries to meet the limit. At a workshop put on by a staffing agency today, lawyers helped employers prepare for these changes. We asked them if employers could try to skirt the rules.
It's not illegal to convert someone from salaried exempt to hourly non-exempt. which could involve lowering their pay. But if they're doing it to comply with federal regulations, that is a legitimate reason to change someone's pay. So it's not a problem.
And this could mean some employers will limit hours so employees don't get additional overtime. Well, some workers may get an increase in their salaried pay. In Okaloosa County, first responders want to be prepared if something like what happened at Columbine High, the Pulse nightclub, or Sandy Hook Elementary were to happen here. Today, they had an intensive training exercise to prepare for such an active shooter situation. The CW55's Catrice Nolan was there.
Cries for help in a scene that looks real, but it's actually an exercise scenario. An active shooter is on the loose and dozens are already hurt and have been shot.
It was just really intense, especially the constant yelling, them yelling you get down, get out, get out.
So in an active scenario situation, the SWAT team has already moved in ready to rescue victims. They use a fake vest and a fake gun to get in the middle of all the action.
People are shot, injured, and might be dead in this scenario, but the goal is to create a safe situation if this scene were to become a reality.
Victims, especially victims that have hemorrhage problems, that could be in shock, they could have severe medical problems, and there's a need for immediate treatment to get them out of the danger area.
Local law enforcement and fire and rescue teams out of Okaloosa County participate in the training exercise. Even though nothing of this magnitude has happened in this area, they always want to be prepared. They say taking the training outside the classroom is essential.
This is the kind of situation where you can't learn this watching PowerPoint slides. You have to get out and you have to do it.
By doing the emergency drill, it gave the victims in the scenario another outlook on emergency responders.
It showed that anything can happen at any time, and the responders who came to the scene have to be ready at all times and have to be able to deal with the situation to the best of their abilities, how to go around it, how to get everyone out safely.
How they were really trying to save us even though we weren't really in danger.
Not in any danger, but first responders preparing for a dangerous situation. Reporting in Okaloosa County, Catrice Nolan, the CW55 News at 9.
In health news today, a big push across the country to stomp out your butts. Today is the American Cancer Society's Great American Smokeout. Tobacco-free Florida is working to educate Floridians on the dangers of smoking, and numbers show that effort is working. This year, the statewide smoking rate hit an all-time low, 15.8%. We checked out how local areas stack up against that.
So the smoking rates in Santa Rosa County are higher than those of the state, but are at an all-time low overall. If these trends continue, we will see an $8.2 billion decrease in health cost expenses from 2016 to 2020. If
you or someone you know wants to quit smoking, you should visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or your local health department. We have a CW55 update now. Yesterday, we joined Sean Hartsfield of Hype, Pensacola, as he bought Thanksgiving turkeys to give to families in need. Tonight, we went to St. John's Baptist Church, where families who registered for the turkeys picked them up. The CW55's Haley Minogue spoke to a family who said without this, they would not have a Thanksgiving dinner this year.
Through these doors, Sean Hartsfield is passing out turkeys.
Thank you so much.
How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
All right.
Hype, helping youth in Pensacola endure, was able to purchase 85 turkeys to give to families in need.
Yeah, I feel excited. It's good to be able to give back to the community, to those in need.
Hundreds of dollars of donations were used to buy the turkeys. Families then registered online to make sure they went to people who really needed them.
A co-worker told me about it, and she told me you just send an email and get a confirmation, and I actually got a confirmation number back. So
there's many different parts of Hype. Sports is one. Right now they're towards the end of their football season. But it was important for the team to do some good work before a big tournament this weekend.
One of the things we wanted to do when we started our program, Hype, is to give back to the community and be connected with the community and help them with the things that they need help with.
Providing meals to people who may not have been able to have Thanksgiving.
This is something I wasn't going to be able to do, but now I can pull a meal together for my kids, and that makes me happy.
Giving thanks every step of the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Reporting in Pensacola, Haley Minogue, the CW55 News at 9.
Hype Pensacola gave out the turkeys a week early to relieve some of the last-minute stress involved in pulling together a big Thanksgiving meal. A lot of people like to fry a turkey for Thanksgiving, and local firefighters are making sure that people know how to do that safely. Pensacola firefighters demonstrated by placing an unthawed turkey in the deep fryer. That is what you should not do with your turkey. To further demonstrate the common mistakes people make when a fire starts after frying a turkey, the team poured water on the fryer, which only ignites the flames.
A lot of times they don't thaw their turkey completely. And by not doing that, the water and oil do not mix. And 325 degrees is the ideal temperature to deep fry a turkey. However, people will overfill the oil.
And that is a recipe for the fire department showing up at your house on Thanksgiving. If you are thinking about deep frying a turkey, always fully thawed out first. Keep children and pets away from the fryer, and keep the fryer away from trees, out from underneath carports and garages. Earlier, we told you that U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter spent the day at Eglin and Hurlburt. The CW55's photojournalist Dan Kettinger was there and shows us what the secretary saw.
They're going to do some live call for fires with a gunship.
Spooky 4-4 copies all, continuing on both targets.
You got the gunships, you got the U-28s, you got the STS guys, 7th Special Forces Group. So all those guys are working together today. So it kind of gets a snapshot of how it all fits together.
It's an honor to be able to display what the toughest, most amazing airmen in the Air Force do every day to a guy that can make a difference.
We're the finest fighting force the world has ever known. You're the tip of our spear.
This is the team, the air team and the ground team that does it. If there's an American to be rescued anywhere in the world, these are the people who do it.
And we saw when those helicopters were coming in there, Alan, more dust than usual being kicked up. It just has been so dry the last couple months.
So dry, and in the right scenario, it's actually good camouflage, but it's not the kind we want in our neighborhoods, which is what we have. Still a really nice evening, just like the last few evenings. You know what that big thing is in the eastern sky? That is a waning gibbous moon. It's still closer to Earth than typical. It's in that phase that we call supermoon, and it's not just one night that it's super. It's really more than a week. But still, the weather's super dry. 67 degrees at Orange Beach, with the dew point in the mid-60s, meaning there is a moderate amount of moisture in the air, and if you step outside and look at your vehicle, the odds are you have some dew forming already. We expect it to be in the 50s this time of the year, but the dew point's in the 60s. Even with moisture in the air, it's still not falling. Here's an update on the drought status for the region, and notice in the Panhandle, we've now gone from moderate to severe. So bit by bit, we are getting into a worse situation that shows no improvement tomorrow, even though a cold front comes through late. Prepare for a warm Friday, a cool weekend. I'll have that in just a few minutes.
We're at Providence Hospital in Mobile, one of the few in the entire country doing really state-of-the-art surgery, eye surgery, in 3D. We're going to take you inside the OR. Coming up next.
Plus, don't forget, our next CW55 Star Audition is coming up. It's Monday from 3 until 7 at the WKRG News 5 studios in Mobile. For more details, check out the CW55 on Facebook.
I get up early every morning, so while you're still sleeping, we're up working on today's news.
Making sure you know what's happening now.
Why? Because mornings matter to you.
We've issued an arrest order for the vigilante known as Guardian.
If you think you're a hero, you're crazier than I thought.
We'll agree to disagree.
Show yourself!
Why are you doing this?
It's time for you to die, Supergirl.
All new Monday at 7 on the CW55.
We can get you in the Honda of your choice in a flash. Pensacola Honda shoots as straight as an arrow and gives you all the information up front and has super prices. Pensacola Honda, legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and home of the sonic price.
Pensacola Honda, where we do things differently.
if there were a place where we could all be happy, healthy, and free? Where we could soar through the sky without a care in the world? A place where we could all grow young? Where fitness was fun and play was smart, and anyone could take flight? What if there were such an amazingly awesome place? And if for only a few hours, we could leave the world behind and jump for joy? Welcome to Sky Zone, the original indoor trampoline park.
For more than 40 years, we've built a reputation for offering superior office products and service as Copy Products Company. But now that we offer much more, like network infrastructure and security, managed IT, document conversion and storage, managed print services, and industry-specific solutions, in addition to the best multifunction printers all connected to the web, we had to rebrand ourselves to make it clear that we offer so much more. We're now CPC Office Technologies. Visit us at cpctech.com.
This season, Steve Harvey redefines cool.
You're so handsome. You heard her. You heard the lady.
Weeknights at 6 on the CW55.
Quite a scene at a local truck stop today. A driver and his dog barely escape with their lives after their motorhome goes up in flames. The owner had all of his worldly possessions in that motorhome. But what happened next is what small towns and good people are all about. The CW55's Debbie Williams has the story from along I-10 in Loxley.
A charred hull in a truck stop parking lot. Hard to recognize as a motor home.
When they burn quickly.
But it was home to Jim Hartman, traveling to St. Petersburg, Florida to start a new life and a new job.
All my equipment to work, everything is gone.
Ben Cranford had been behind the RV and noticed a fuel leak. By the time they pulled into the parking lot, it was on fire.
We got, his dog out. We got him out. We got his wallet, we tried to get his bike, something he said he worked 17 years to buy.
Everything Hartman owned was inside that RV.
This is an antique 1929 sawed-off 12-gauge deal.
Or trailered behind it.
Gone.
It seemed like forever, but I know it was 90 seconds. Over half of the motorhome was engulfed. 2-3 minutes, it was over.
Hartman didn't let it go without a fight. His face and arms burned in the struggle.
That was from him trying to get some things out of his RV. It was hot, extremely hot.
After the fire was put out, the smoke had cleared. Then an amazing thing started happening. Person after person coming up to this gentleman to offer help, a hug, a meal, a place to stay. And they don't even know him.
We need to figure something out for him. I know I'm going to do what I can.
It's something that makes the mayor of the small town proud.
Most people in America are like that. It's really heartwarming.
Hartman's family's been contacted, and while he and his dog Lobo figure out their next move, strangers are doing what they can to make this journey a little easier.
They'll lend a hand to help other folks when they're down, and this guy's definitely down.
Debbie Williams, CW55 News at 9.
Now, Chief Meteorologist Alan Seals.
Another quiet day in the Panhandle, another cool night if you're in Crestview, already at 49 degrees. But contrast that with Destin at 64, Pensacola's Airport at 63, and everyone else is somewhere in between. All of us enjoying a bright moon, still rising. That's the view looking down Perdido Key Drive. The night will be quiet, the night will be dry, and I showed you the big picture of the drought map, but here's a closer picture. Again, this is updated every week, and the latest update shows much of the Panhandle now under a severe drought, parts of southwestern Alabama now under an extreme drought. So the situation just gradually gets worse, and it's really all about how much moisture is in the ground. Sometimes it's directly related to the rain, but not always. Still, though, we are running a deficit. Those numbers that you see, the shortages, basically that's been the last 6 to 8 weeks, and we don't have any substantial rain coming anytime soon. It's made worse, though, when your days are very warm. You get more evaporation. You even lose more moisture from the soil. So we have another warm day tomorrow, but this will be the last one for a while. We'll start off with light fog in the morning. By afternoon, we'll get into the upper 70s here and across the rest of the region. And then on Saturday, look at that, mid-60s. What's going on there? Well, we go from a southeast wind tomorrow with the cold front coming through tomorrow night. There'll be a few sprinkles, but not enough to make a difference. But then we'll pick up a dry north wind, which makes the drought situation even worse. Here's the update on the tropics. Still a tropical wave there in the southwestern Caribbean, showing no immediate signs of development, but we'll watch it. Not that it's coming here. It's still hurricane season. Tonight, most of us are in the mid and upper 50s, going to the upper 70s tomorrow with that southeast wind. So things otherwise are fairly quiet as we transition into this week just before Thanksgiving. Look at these temperatures over the weekend. 60s during the days, 30s at night, and by Turkey Day, lower 70s.
All right, thanks a lot, Alan. A hospital here on the Gulf Coast is performing a high-tech eye surgery that looks like something you'd see in a sci-fi movie, but it's very real and very rare. The CW55's tech reporter J.B. Buno got an inside look.
At first glance, it might look like Dr. Alan Franklin is wearing sunglasses in the OR.
That's the 3D camera that goes in the microscope.
But these specs aren't meant to be taken as a fashion statement. They're 3D glasses being used for 3D eye surgery at Providence Hospital in Mobile.
I've got a couple minutes of laser, Catherine.
We were given a special look at the cutting-edge technology, and this is no practice run. You're looking at retinal surgery inside this female patient's eyeball.
So now we're just playing with the light exposure.
Now you're seeing it in 2D, but just like with the glasses you'd find in a 3D movie, this video is popping out in 3 dimensions right at Dr. Franklin at the operating table, bringing this woman's tiny retina to the big screen.
That's the nerve in the back of the eye, the white thing.
With the digital platform, I can filter out different colors of light, which highlights the anatomy better, and I can see through blood in the eye better. I can visualize scar tissue on top of the eye better.
A 3D camera mounted on this microscope shoots a 3D image to this 55-inch 4K TV, enabling pinpoint accuracy at a microscopic level.
The retina is about 1/4 of a millimeter thick, and then in some of our surgeries, we want to take the very superficial film off the retina, which is 3 microns, which is half the thickness of a red blood cell.
To give you an idea of the scale we're working with here, take a look at this.
So that's the little, what we call a trocar. That's what we put our instruments through to enter the eye. It's about half the width of a credit card.
So you were performing surgery through that gap, the gap that made?
Yes. Take the laser back.
For procedures like this one, going inside a diabetic eye to remove scar tissue, the technology is state-of-the-art. So much so that Providence Hospital is only the 6th one in the country to have this tech.
We're seeing the eye in 3 dimensions. So everything that's on the screen is up there.
Eye surgery can be done with your old school telescope, but it's this precise 3D technology that Dr. Franklin believes is coming to many more hospitals in the years to come.
Flatten the retina.
The surgery of tomorrow that's happening today, right here in Mobile. At Providence Hospital in Mobile, J.B. Buno, CW55 News at 9.
The Robertsons have a big announcement. Duck Dynasty is done. That and more entertainment news coming up.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the best deals for Christmas. Like the Big Easy Oilless Turkey Fryer from Charbroil for $79.99. And save $50 on the Jump Zone 14-foot trampoline. Best prices guaranteed at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Christmas Nights of Lights returning to Hank Aaron Stadium. Christmas Nights of Lights has added even more to the show this year with new displays and new music. This is one of the most amazing drive-through Christmas light shows you'll ever experience. Hundreds of thousands of LED lights synchronized to both traditional and new rockin' Christmas music playing through your car radio. Open nightly at Hank Aaron Stadium November 11th through January 1st, 5:30 p.m. until 10 p.m. For more info, go to ChristmasNightsOfLights.com.
Hey everybody, this is Mitch McConnell at McConnell Buick GMC. Tonight, we're preparing for the biggest sale we've ever had, but it only lasts for 4 hours. The reason why? We're going to lose a lot of money doing this, folks, and so you know what? We're going to give you 20 or 25% off every Buick and GMC parked on our front lot. The manufacturer didn't give us these discounts. Most dealerships have only a few. At McConnell, everything is going to be 20 to 25% off our front lot. So I invite you to come take advantage of this sale. It only happens once in our case in a lifetime.
What does this coat, this can of food, and this arm have in common? They can each make a difference at Baldwin EMC's 11th annual Power of Giving Drive, Thursday, December 1st from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at our training center in Summerdale. Donate new or gently used coats for kids in need, non-perishable food, or roll up a sleeve and give blood for our local hospitals. Be someone's holiday hero. Give the gift of life at our annual Power Giving Drive.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the best deals for Christmas. Like the Big Easy Oilless Turkey Fryer from Charbroil for $79.99. And save $200 on the Xterra Fitness TR300 treadmill. Best prices guaranteed at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Tonight in entertainment news, the family behind Duck Dynasty pulls the plug on the A&E series. Here's Tanner Thomason with that and more in today's HTL Daily Wrap.
Hey guys, I'm Tanner Thomason from Hollywood Today Live. This is the HTL Daily Wrap. We all love Chrissy Teigen, right? She's a model, host, blogger, author, Mrs. John Legend, mom, and Kim Kardashian's greatest friend. Why? Doctors told Kim that if she wanted another child, there may be complications. So Chrissy stepped up and said she'd be willing to be her surrogate. She says she just loves being pregnant. Wow, me too. I totally can't relate. Speaking of kids, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are about to have their second boy. You won't believe what Ashton wanted to name him, Hawkeye. He's from Iowa, and they love the Hawkeyes there. But Mila, not so much. They have another name picked out, but they're keeping it under wraps. Fun fact, I was almost called Cowboy after Oklahoma State, because it was the Oklahoma State Cowboys. The hit A&E series Duck Dynasty is calling it quits after 11 seasons. The Robertsons said that it was a family decision, but there may be Duck Dynasty specials in their future. Hey, if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it gets paid like a Robertson. I'm Tanner Thomason, and that's the HTL Daily Wrap.
So sometimes your 15 minutes lasts 11 years. Is that what we just found out?
That's been a long time, and then it's never really over because you can reset the clock and go again. We are resetting the summer clock as in temperatures that are feeling like late summer. Tonight we stay in the lower 50s in most spots. Now if you're in Century, if you're in Allentown, you'll end up in the upper 40s, but a quiet night leading to a warm Friday. Temperatures almost touching 80 degrees in some spots, but this is what you're looking forward to. That is mid 60s this weekend. So I know people are running the air conditioner today. By Saturday, and especially Saturday night and Sunday, you'll be switching to the heater. And then next week by Thanksgiving, you'll be back to the air conditioner.
You know, I don't like that. You know what a cheapskate I am when it comes to the electricity bill.
You're an environmentalist.
There you go. That's what I am. That's what I thought. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow night on the CW55.
Bye-bye.